Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. Welcome to airBaltic Pilot Academy Open Day, today on 14th of April 2023, here in Riga at airBaltic Studio. My name is Vilmantas, and I am CEO of airBaltic Training, also pilot who is actively flying Airbus 220. And I'll be presenting you today to two parts. One is airBaltic, another one is airBaltic Pilot Academy, which you are welcome to join. So let's start from the very end of the way you're going to go through. This is airBaltic. So as you most probably know, the airBaltic is the lead Baltic country airline who is carrying from Finland, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, the people across the Europe and the world. And we are a growing up company with quite a big fleet of single Airbus 220. And today we are over 2,300 employees. Half of that employees, they are cabin crews and pilots are today is more than 400, and by the end of the year we should have to have about 440 people. Because airline is growing, as I mentioned, we receive the aircraft every month or every 2 months, and that is why every aircraft requires about 10 pilots. So for currently fleet of 40 aircraft, we need to have 400 pilots. And as we are a growing company and fast moving forward, so your career path is guaranteed, and you within the next 4 or 5 years, while you're getting your hours, you are entitled to become a captain. And we are really a multinational airline, and most probably all the countries of European Union and non-European Union is presented here, with 33 nationalities flying on our fleet. Here is Destination 2025 business plan, but now we are reviewing that business plan, and which will be called 2030. And with that business plan, the aim is to get about 100 aircraft. Now we have orders for 50 aircraft. As you can see from the graph, we started removing the Boeing fleet and Q400 fleet some years ago, and now we are flying purely Airbus 220 fleet. And today we have 39, and the aircraft number 40, which will be colored in the national flag colors of Latvia, will arrive on 15th of April. No, sorry, on Monday it will be here, and we'll have a special celebration of 40 aircraft arriving to airBaltic. And by the end of the year, the number of the fleet will increase to 48, and the next year we'll receive last 2 aircraft from the firm orders of 50, and we have an option open for 30 aircraft, which will be activated by the end of the year. The Airbus 220 is most modern narrow body middle and long range aircraft, which can carry up to 149 passengers, and we're flying as far as Dubai and Tenerife from Riga, which is about 6.5 hour flight. And also we serve very short routes, which is Vilnius, Tallinn, 25-30 minutes. So the aircraft can carry either long or short range, up to 148 passengers, and it's a very modern 4th generation airliner, which has the most modern avionic and also fly-by-wire. And really, to sit in a cockpit and fly this aircraft is enjoyable and also very, very attractive. To train on this airplane, you need to complete the Pilot Academy. Then you're going to multi-crew cooperation course, which also done on our modern Airbus 220 simulator, which we have in our training center. And you see those photos of opening of that simulator almost 4 years ago. And not almost, it's 4 years ago almost. And now we have also, with the orders of next 30 aircraft, we are looking for another simulator which will be added to the training center. So, and airBaltic requires the pilots, as I mentioned. So We need to have another 120 pilots next year, and then we need to continuously grow up and also substitute the pilots who are leaving because of the pension scheme, because of medical conditions. So we constantly have a need about 48 to 50 pilots every year. So, and to become airBaltic pilot, first officer, it's only way to go through the pilot academy, because we don't have a direct employment of the first officers who has no experience. And only way to get into airBaltic Airbus 220 fleet is going through the pilot academy. What do we do in the pilot academy? So first of all, you will get a high-level integrated ATPL education, which is airline pilot standard. APS means airline pilot standard, which you will have from the day one. You will wear a uniform of the pilot, and our instructors are also pilots from the airline, and they are giving you all the standards what you need in the airline, in commercial airline of European standard. It will take about 18 to 24 months. So why 18 and why 24? Because the weather. So if the weather is bad, it can take about 20, 22 months. If the weather is good during the summer and winter, it will be as short as 18 months. So we are using only modern Diamond 40 and Diamond 42 fleet, which is equal to Airbus 220 avionics, and also very, very silent and economical. And best practice and quality from our airline instructors are guaranteed during your studies. And at the end of the studies, after the interview, when you finish your theoretical training, you are entitled to work at airBaltic and also receive the loan. How to apply? So here is the selection process, and first of all, you need to write the application. Application should contain some 200 words of your motivation letter and also your CV. You have to have your secondary school completed, and also mathematics, physics, and English language is key to succeed. So then when you send your application, then we look at the application. If all matches, so then you are invited to English and maths and physics. My apologies, I haven't switched the phone. And general mental abilities test is the next. And after that, several series of tests, which we are looking at GMA. And then you are invited for psychological assessment, which is mandatory in European Union. And after successful completion, we are calling you for final interview. And after final interview, you are receiving the letter for the financial support if you are looking for external financing, or if you are accepted, we can also provide the airBaltic loan for your future studies. And as you can see, from 200, we usually select about 10-12 people. So all those steps are required some additional efforts from your side, and most successful candidates are welcome to join the academy and airline as well. So here is the airline sponsored program. It's not what you need to pay, but it's all entire payment scheme, which is 25,000, what is your own contribution, and then it's other part, 64,000, is sponsored by the airline. If you have your own money, welcome. So you don't need to pay exactly all amount in front. So you pay in 4 stages. So 25 initially, then the next step, next step, next step. Each step is related with some flying. For example, you do the solo, then you start paying for your collecting of the hours on the single engine. Then you go to cross country, go to multi-engine, go to MCC, and each step you finance in the front. So starting dates for the groups this year are 15th of May, because the 1st of May is day off. So we moved to 2 weeks later, because also 4th of May here in Latvia is day off. So to reduce that period when you don't have too much to do, so we started from the 15th of May. And there are, I think, 1 or 2 seats left in the May group. If you hurry up, you can take it one. And September group is filling, or most probably it's already filled in. And November group, there are still some spots available. And so all the documents, please submit as fast as you can, and then we will start the process. So the airline pilot standard from the day one, I've been telling what does it mean. So APS program, which you will find somewhere in other institutions, is airline pilot standard, not for MCC, but for entire integrated ATPL course. And that is related with what you need to learn and also what you get from our instructors. And it helps you to build a professional approach towards the commercial airline flying. Here you can see the all steps what we do in integrated ATPL APS program. So we have plenty of classroom training, which is divided in 3 parts. So the first one you study with instructor, the second one you study yourself, and the third one you study with your group mates, and also instructor is on standby whenever you need to ask the questions. They are coming to the classroom and explaining what you are missing or what you want to understand better. The single engine piston flying is happening on Diamond 40 NG, new generation aircraft, which we receive every year. And we have the first aircraft came into pilot academy in 2019. The last one is 2020. So they are very, very fresh and new aircraft. And so then you fly also simulator, which is located here in Riga. It's also made by the same manufacturer and very high quality. And Diamond 42 is your last aircraft you're going to fly before the Airbus 220, which is dual engine, modern twin multi-engine piston aircraft. So at the end you are coming to UK, where we have a partnership with one of the robotics schools, and you are trained on upset prevention recovery training, which requires you to fly abrupt maneuvers like stalls and barrels to understand what the G-forces are, because in commercial airline you don't have too much G-forces, but you need to understand in case of critical environmentally induced upsets. So after that training you come back, and we continue with multi-crew cooperation course on Airbus 220, which is your prelude to the type rating, which is the end of the program. So you can see here the picture of Diamond 42 during our delivery from Austria over the Alps. And Diamond family fleet itself, here is a little bit about the aircraft. So this is made from zero into the composite materials, the same as our Airbus 220, which is not fully composite, but Diamond 40 and Diamond 42 is mostly composite aircraft, which is exactly what we want to have you on the Airbus 220. And also it's a 4th generation general aviation or training aircraft, which has a Garmin 1000 NXI. Version 2 now, which has also synthetic vision. You can see inside the instrument what is the 3G geometry of your flight, and also a lot of interesting features inside. Electronic checklist among them. And also it uses a very modern Austro engine, which produce power with the less fuel burn and also less CO2 and NOx. NOx about 50% less than the normal aircraft. So we use those aircraft from the day one, and we are very happy because we have a maintenance center, and we are also Diamond partner for the maintenance of those aircraft in the region. This slide represents the basis, what we are flying, and also the number of the aircraft which we have, and the 10th aircraft from the order of 15 is going to happen next year. And we fly from Liepāja, Riga, Ventspils, and also during winter we are looking where to fly in the more warm destinations like Croatia, Italy, or Spain. On the left side of this graph you can see how many pilots we need every year. So as you can see, 2023 it's 440 plus, and 2024-25 we need about 500 pilots. And on the right side, you can see how many pilots the Pilot Academy generates, and today we have about 80 pilots studying in the Pilot Academy for a 2-year program. So every year we are releasing to the airline about 40-48 pilots. What you can expect. So here is your money, which you are earning, and that will guarantee a return of the loan, and also prosperous living, being a co-pilot, and then moving with your career path upwards towards the captain. So during first year, for the 12 months, you would be receiving as a first officer level 1, and then after 12 calendar months, you moving in the first officer level 2, another 12 calendar months, first officer number 3, and then before you becoming captain, you will move in the senior first officer position after successful selection to become a captain. And then with the captain levels, every 2 years they are moving upwards, and at the end of the year number 8 or 9, you could also move into the training captain position or into managerial pilot position. So those pilots who are actively flying with us on the first officer level 2 or 3, they also starts to preparing themselves for instructor position. So they're doing theoretical knowledge structuring for you, and all the captains for the level 1 or senior first officer also are involved in the training. That was monetarily part of your salary, but there is a non-monetarily part of benefits which airline can give it to you. So we have a lot of people, as you've been seeing, 33 nations are representing at airBaltic. And of course, living in Latvia and having your birthplace or your living place somewhere else, you need to travel. So airBaltic has unlimited whole leave tickets. So whenever you have a days off, you can go on our network for almost free, except the airport fees. So going home and back. Also, you can travel together with your friend or your relative, and all that called ID leisure travel on the other airlines. So after 1 year in the airline, you are entitled to travel on other airlines for very attractive cost. Paid vacations 20 days per annum is standard, and all training, certification of your medical and passport renewals are covered by the airline. Also, it's very important, loss of license insurance. This is not of license itself, but rather loss of your medical capabilities to fulfill pilot role. And if there is something like a deterioration of your medical status, and you cannot fly more than 12 months, so there is a loss of license insurance which reaches up to 100,000 K, and you could find another job with that money as well. Health insurance and accident insurance is part of your benefits as well. We have almost, as I mentioned, entire European Union representing for our airline. You can see on the left side of the screen, this is the countries who are flying together with us today. On the right side is the regions of Latvia, where we have students from Latvia, which is half of our students, but the rest is European Union. So become professional pilot by joining us today, and you're very welcome to ask the questions. We'll have a short break now, and as you can ask those questions online, please. I don't see here. Okay, so those questions will be popping up on slido.com, which will be shown later. And also you can participate in the next open days, which will be on the 12th of May on-site, June online, and July on-site. So 1 month we do on-site, another month we do online. And if you want to ask any questions, please follow us on the social media, and you can ask the questions by putting slido.com and entering PA 0423, that means April 23, Papa Alpha 0423 as a ID for Slido.com, and type your questions, and after 3 to 5 minutes I will be returning back again to studio and will answer all your questions directly. Thank you very much and see you in a minute. Very welcome back, and now there is a question and answer session, and I will start reading the questions and will answer. If I will not have an answer to your questions, we will answer you by email. So the first question is, how much money will be deducted from salary to pay back the loan monthly? The loan is for 60 months, so 5 years, 60 months, and if you divide 64,000 by 60 months, it's a bit more than 1,000 euros. But it's divided in such a way that whenever you have a level, first officer level 1, you will have, let's say, 800 euros. When you have a level 2 first officer, 1,100. Level 3, more money you earn, more we will deduct. So it's not exactly 1,000 euros per month, but it could start from 800 and end up in 1,300 when you have a more salary. Next question is, thanks for awesome presentation once again. Always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you very much, you too. Next question, why program with loan and employment takes same time as fully owned finance? Isn't there duration differences in training lengths together with working? The difference, there is no visible or no so obvious, and there will be no difference during first 9 months until you are selected for the loan permission, and then with the loan permission you will start flying and you will start learning additionally. So, and we cannot fly with 100 people at the same day. So we will do a schedule that you were flying intensively 2 weeks, and then you would be able to work for a week and also back flying. The same for those who are paying themselves. So you will have a flying days, a condensed in a little bit more period, and then you will have a days off if you are not working. So, so the length is more or less the same. So there is no difference. And we are not, let's say, giving a preference for those who are paying themselves or those who we are financing. This airline is equal opportunity airline, really, so there is no any preferences. In the near future, it's possible to decrease the self-funded installment to 20,000 euros. We would be glad to do it. We started from some 5 years ago, it was 9,000. Then some 3 years ago was 15,000, and now it's 25,000. The reason is very simple. So the fuel cost, the cost of the aircraft, cost of the spare parts, cost of electricity, as you know yourself, has increased dramatically, and we just simply cannot afford ourselves to reduce that price. And also the airline cannot finance more than it can, but the airline is also a big part of money to be on hold and to be financed for yourself. So there is no plan. If the energy prices will drop down, and we'll see that we can reduce, of course we'll reduce. The aim of this entity is not to make money from the training. The aim of this entity is to make enough qualified and highly motivated people for the airline. So we're really not making money from training the pilots. You have mentioned GMA. What is that? General Mental Abilities Test is a series of, let's say, online testing when you are asked to answer different questions, and you are asked to make a little calculation, a little assumptions, and that demonstrates at the end, there is an algorithm which demonstrates how your general mental abilities are, where you are, and there is a very sophisticated and deep analysis which at the end gives for us the feedback about your abilities to future grow up in terms of operator of the aircraft. How many seats are left in May group? I cannot answer directly, but I know that 2 exactly, maybe 3, or maybe 1, but something around that number. So there are single seats left. How do I maximize my chances of being accepted? I'm finishing 12th grade in a couple of months, and being a pilot is my dream. So if you are finishing now, And a couple of months will not help anything more than you did already during the last, let's say, 3 or 4 years. So what we are looking and what the studies are requiring from you, it's a good understanding of physical things, of physics, and also being able to calculate fast, generate the answers, and also ability to understand the environment. And that is your GMA. And within the month or two, you will not be able to improve something what you haven't been doing for years before. But what you can improve is most probably go back again in maths and physics, go a little bit deeper in English if you are not native English speaker, and that will help you to be a more successful candidate. Next question, what happens if remedial training is required? Is that factored in the training cost already, or will be given up the cost? No, the remedial training, very good question, so is at additional cost. So we are giving, after each theoretical training block, which are 14 blocks, we have internal exams. So before moving you into European aviation data bank exams, which is regulated by authorities. It's not taken into Pilot Academy. You're going to Latvian CAA and you're passing exam there. So, but we are never moving you there until you are not ready, because the success rate is very high for our academy. So, and if you need to go for another exam, there is no any pay internally. But if you are missing exam in CAA and we need to return back again with some additional training, so then of course it's additional cost. Also for the flying, if you are, our program is not a minimal program, so it's more than minimum. So we already have a longer programs than usually in the industry. But if you are not capable to digest everything and fly properly within that program, of course, extra cost is on your shoulders. But we don't have too many cases, I can tell you. And all those costs are provided in the agreement. Is it possible to work for an airline as cabin crew when studying in PA? Yes, it's possible, but only after those 9 months when you finished theory, because during a theoretical part it would be difficult, because that requires let's say 7 days per week, 6 hours at least, you need to study. And when you finish study, we are employing whoever wants to for the airline, as a pilot academy, as a cabin crew, or as a flight dispatch, or as a coordinator on the ground. So yes, it's possible. What is the maximum salary of a pilot? What I can tell. Really don't know what you mean by maximum salary. If you're flying at night, if you're flying 100 hours as a captain, you can receive up to 15,000 euros. But usually what I have been saying, those are the average salaries, what you've seen already on the screen. Is type rating included in a period of 18 to 24 months? Yes. You mentioned that we will receive uniforms of training. That means every day in the PA will wear the uniform. No, you will wear uniform, no casual clothes. That disciplines people and also makes a little bit more equal. Is it how many seats are left in November group? I cannot answer that question, but it should be some seats left, because the November group is not fully. The September is close to full, and November is still quite open. Is it possible? Okay, the maths and physics test exams are done on site or online? Online, but online we do with special requests. So you need to have a camera, and we are monitoring what you are doing. Actually, there are some requirements how to do online test that will be also told, because we had some cases of cheating, so that is now not possible. Is it possible, do you have training materials to prepare for math, physics, or other entry requirement? No, No, that is not publicly available. Is it possible? Okay, jumping back. In Latvia, there is a requirement military year now. Does studying in AB gives me a free ticket from military year? If not, what happens with pay 25K? Very good questions for the Latvians, because now it's becoming military mandatory. So what we do, we agreed, not yet onto the final stage, but we had almost reached the agreement that if you would be calling for the military, you would be also doing something related with the pilot job. So, and that 25K will be on hold, and also whatever 64K, which the airline will be paying, also on hold, and your return back on hold. So if you will be called for 9 months, we cannot say no, but we will do everything possible that you would be serving those 9 months in the aviation squadron of Lielvarde. Is it possible to join your academy with PPL and ATPL theory completed? Yes, it's possible, but you need to start from the very beginning. So integrated ATPL is you start from 0 and you finish as ATPL, CPL pilot. If you have a PPL, we also have a modular training. So you can choose to continue with modular training, or you can decide, okay, I will rejoin integrated ATPL, and you will go through the entire theory. But if you have flying already done, so our head of training will look at your specific case and can reduce some flying hours depending on how much you've been doing that yourself, or collecting some hours or not, and that could be deducted from those 64,000. If you have ATPL theory completed, so what you need most probably is flying. So back again, I cannot answer because each case is different. Please approach us, write email, tell your story, and we'll have a look. We have a different program. So integrated ATPL is when you have employment. So modular course, you will not get employment because you need to work for the airline 1 year to go through the modular course. And if you are our employee, some our employees has a PPL licenses and they want to become a pilot in the airline, so but they've been working with us, so then we provide the modular training for free. Or if you want to have a PPL, modular CPL, and then join the airline, you need to have a 1 year experience in airBaltic. Why do so many candidates fail? Only 12 from 200 because of mathematics or charisma. Yes, because of charisma. As a joking, of course, no, because of so 200 applications, not necessarily that you fail. So from those 200 applications, as you saw, the gap is narrowing, and when we narrow, because the application shows a lot, some people by writing application, they don't have even ability to join us because they are not finishing the school, they don't have something which we need to have. So a lot of applications are sorted out as not valid, and then from those half of the applications we are going through mathematics, physics and psychology test, which is the biggest part of screening, and then during individual talks with psychologists, another part of the screening. No charisma here. Motivation is important. Could you tell us, please, what is especially important in the psychological exam and interview, and what is management interview about? So I cannot tell what is psychological exam. There is no psychological exams at all. It's assessment. That assessment is done by the aviation psychologists who are specializing in screening or aptitude testing of applicant, and they have a special methodology which is approved by European Union, and you're going through. The reason why we need to have it is twofold. One, not everybody knows what we have in ourselves, so we need to check it. So the second one is to check your abilities to fastly change in the fastly changing environment. And the management interviews all about the motivation, all about why you're here, what you want to for the future, and just general stuff. The next question, which is preferred profile to get into the process if you have more than 200 applications? Thanks. We have 2,000 applications, not 200. So I don't know what would be the preferred profile. So you should match the criteria which are publicly available. You should demonstrate your abilities, and you should be a motivated person to join us. So that is the generally 3 main topics. You mentioned that due to weather, you may complete some of flight trainings in Croatia. Is the cost of training recovered in the fees? Yeah, the living is not covered, but all the rest is covered. Yes, so we have partnership with some schools. I cannot disclose it yet, but there are some plans for upcoming winter where we're going to settle down. So, and it's not like you will be forced, so those who want to join, you're welcome. And if you're from that country, even more appreciable. When to get the medical? We should have to have a medical before you start. Because it's not for us mostly, but it's for you rather. Because if you are not fitting medical one, why you need to join the aviation profession, pilot profession. So check yourself even before you're applying. I would strongly suggest to go and pass the medical one exam in Aviation Medical Center. And then you will understand either you are able to fly another 40 years and being still fit to fly. Can I have a part-time job during my time in the academy? Answer is negative, because that is demanding process, and as I mentioned, you will be studying non-stop for 9 months, 5 days, 2 days off, 5 days, 2 days off, 5 days, 2 days off, with of course the official holidays off. And then during a flying there will be some gaps, and we'll try to condense those gaps, but if you are not well rested, or if you are not monitored by the duty and time limitations by ourselves, it's not the way to go. What does the selection process entail regarding the interview for loan? How is it organized, and what do you check them? The selection process does not go into financial abilities. So we select you as a professional, and financial part is on your own. So at the end of the selection process, as I mentioned, we issue the letter that you are selected as a candidate for the Pilot Academy, and in that letter you can go to banking institutions or somewhere else to get your loan. We are not involved in the checking of financial abilities. That is, we are not a bank and we cannot do it legally. What is the cost for PPL course? It's quite expensive because, as I mentioned, we are a Diamond Family Pilot Academy. Our instructors are instructors from the airline. That means we have a quality, and we cannot provide a PPL course for the money which is very, very low. You go to our webpage and or write the email, we will send you the quotation. If there is an age maximum to apply, and would I be eligible if I have my PPL done from Canada? There is no age limit, so we had some students who are 40 plus, and what would be PPL done from Canada would be almost nothing, because the Canada is Transport Canada issued license, and in European Union we have EASA license. So if you transport your PPL to the EASA license, then we can have a look. But as I mentioned, integrated ATPL is nothing to do with PPL, CPL, modular training. It's entire training from day one until the very end. Can you apply multiple times? Yes, you can, but if you fail in November, okay, if I fail in November, so look at the answer. It could be that 6 months or 12 months, depending on what you have been failing. If you fail something like math, physics and English, you can improve fast, but if you fail psychological and you are given the second chance, there is a 12 months period. How does a psychology screen candidates? Is it psychology opinion, subjective, objective? No, there is a standard, and that standard has some outcome of the standard, and that outcome is either recommended, not recommended. So very simple. So if you are not recommended, we cannot do anything. Hello, I currently live with my family in Sweden, where I also have my job. I would like to know if it's possible to do training distance theory. Negative. Theory should be on-site. Have you already provided some student with the 65K loan? What are the requirements to get it? So whoever is joining, if you are selected, you are entitled to the loan. And we already provided the loans, yes. So it's not like you're finishing and then you receive the loan, no. You select it, you pay your 25, and when you finish the theory, if you are finishing it okay and you don't screw up all the processes, so we'll continue financing your training. For the application process, is the high diploma required to be in English, or is Finnish just fine? Any European high school diploma is fine. You mentioned on your webpage that applicant should express the date they are ready to start the studies. Where should the applicant state this? In your application. You have Finnish student there. Do you know if they get welfare from the Finnish government? Oh, yeah, that is the question which we are working on. I know that we have not welfare, but the student study loans from the Sweden available, and for the Finnish welfare from the government, I'm not sure. Need to dig it. Please write that question in your email. We'll have a look deeper. Have you ever been scared to fly? No. I'm flying myself already. On the 3rd of July will be 43 years, and I've never been scared. Is it initial flight training done in parallel with the theory, or do you complete all theory and then all the initial flight training? There is a mixture here. So if you start in September, so will be all theory done almost during the entire winter. If you're starting in May, what we want that you would at least fly something already this summer. So we'll give you a 3 months theory, which is some modules which you need to have completed before you start flying, and then you fly. And then back again, you are going to be in theoretical training, and then back again you're flying. The same applies for those groups which are February. November, mostly doing a theory and flying a bit later in the summer. September theory, start flying in spring, and May group, a bit of theory, flying at the end of the summer. February, more theory, flying back again mid of summer. So there is a mixture. Each group has a special setup. After completing the pilot academy, is there any mandatory time within the airline? Yes, because the airline is giving you the loan, so the 5-year term of agreement should be signed, and otherwise it would be difficult. And if you're leaving the airline, so you need to return back again all the money which we invested. If you sponsor yourself, that is not applicable. Do we have a complete for the first year spots in the next group, or can we automatically join the following group if we perform good enough? Do we have compete for the last? No. I think first apply and first selected, it's already automatically into the group. And I think when you are confirmed, we are sending contract. If you sign the contract, then your seat is confirmed. Does airBaltic invite everyone above a certain score after the online assessment for future interviews, or, for example, just the top 5 and the particular? Yeah, we select the best ones, definitely. So if you are at the lower score group, so you will be, and you are, let's say, invited for the next interview, and you are giving. So of course we are looking who is the best and selecting the best ones. The next question is, there is any app or website to prepare mass physics test? Thank you very much. I don't know such an app, but if you Google GMA tests, general mental ability tests, there are a lot of tests applicable. And they are logical tests, they are some numerical tests, some physical tests. Go there and train yourself. Do students live in Riga or Liepāja? Both. So for theoretical part in Riga, for practical part in Liepāja, and we are helping you to find the best place. So usually our students has quite a lot of experience to share themselves, and also our administration is offering something for you to choose. If I pass now medical check, will I need to retake it when I am applied for PA? If your medical check is valid, so there is no need for retake. Medical is valid for 12 months, so if that is valid, so it's all fine. If we are selected for PA, do you call us as well? I'm asking this because my email is a mess. Sorry to say, check your email. So if we send you an email and you haven't find it, so try to call us and find out where you are. The next question. Good day. Can a non-European candidate apply for the program? Yes and no. So saying yes, I would say that you need to have permit to work and live in the European Union. So you can be a non-European, but you need to have a permit to work and live in the European Union, so then you can apply. Is all the self-funded installments should be my money, or some of it may be bank money? So as you like. 25,000 where you can get from your own account or from bank loan, is up to you. Is the employment offer after initial 9 months only valid so long as the student is still in flight training? If unsuccessful, is employment terminated? Yeah, the employment is, we cannot give a loan for non-employees. That is only tricky part. So we are not bank institution. Airline cannot give a loan for those who are not employed. So the reason to have a job agreement with us to receive the loan. So, and job agreement is, let's say, to have some days when you are really working, and we have those very interesting jobs which our students like helping to organize ground handling, leaving the aircraft, supervising, planning the cruise, and so on. Those jobs are, and you will benefit from being in those jobs before you becoming a pilot. Next question. Previous financial scheme was planning to hire the cadets as an voting after the initial 9 months. Is still, yes, the same? Same. Is the aircraft type qualification covered by the airline? Yes. So the type qualification is a bond, it's not a loan. So it's even not like with the loan money. What happens if I don't have any aviation experience? Will I be a disadvantage compared to others who have some? No, the aviation experience is not mandatory, but if you have aviation experience, of course it's a plus. What is the maximum salary of the company before and after the taxes? Look at the previous slide in the presentation, and it's also been discussed there during a previous question. I have been told to wait a year to send my CV again. Do I have actual possibility for the next time? Wait a year and send your CV again, and we'll have a look. When airBaltic fly to USA? One day. One day we'll fly to USA. And that is the last very fine question. Thank you very much for all your questions. And we need to finish now. And one more question popped up. If I know the Russian language, is it a plus? No, the Russian language has nothing to do with the Pilot Academy or airBaltic. So English language is must. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day, enjoy the weekend, and apply if you decide to join airBaltic for the Pilot Academy. And we're going through, and most probably one day we'll fly together. I've been saying that several times and already flying with our students as a co-pilots, and some of them are already captains. So we have a lot of good Pilot Academy students, and I wish you a very good success in selection and joining our airline through the Pilot Academy. Thank you very much.